What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Burn the Ships. We have a special guest, Marcello, with us.
What's
Marcello,
up,
what's going on, baby?
guys? What's up, man? I'm here today talking to my friend John. Let's get right into it.
All right. So, as far as I know, I don't know a lot about your entrepreneurial journey, but I know you run the deli, right? You have the
Correct.
place. It's your facility. How'd you get into the business?
So, it's I manage it on a day to day, but I'm also involved with my cousins and my mom, my aunt, my uncle. But basically, my grandfather and my grandmother came here from Italy, a small town outside of Rome called Frosinone, and they came here with nothing. All they knew was deli work and like hand labor, and they came here with nothing, and they started a business now called Guido's Deli, which they first had started in a smaller location a few blocks down, which which was like a quarter the size of this place.
Yeah.
And then 25 years after being there, they moved here, and now we've been here for another 25 years, and actually 2023 was our 50 years of being open.
Hey,
So
congratulations.
thank you.
So, where is Guido's? Just so anybody
Um,
looking can find it.
it's in Elmont, New York on
Okay.
300 Meacham Ave.
All right.
It's if I'm sure everybody knows about King Umberto's. It's right down the block.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And you've been around 50 years, which everybody knows where you are too. This is
Yep.
more so for the people that want to try it, don't know where you are.
Right. Right.
So this place has been essentially passed down and run for generations. So when it comes to the deli work that your grandparents brought over from literally from Italy, what are some things on your menu that you might not find in a regular deli that might be claiming they've been around for all this time when really you guys have been?
Right. So we used to do hot food, but now that my grandparents got a little older, and if I'm not here or my cousins aren't here or whatever, it's a little harder for them to do it on their own.
Mhm.
So we pushed away from the hot food. But my grandfather knows how to make homemade mozzarella. Like, not I'm biased, say whatever, but
Mhm.
I've tasted others, and no one makes it the way that he makes it. It's perfect amount of salt, perfect amount of water inside of it, perfect like just like texture. Everything about it is just
Mhm.
spot on. And I don't think anybody else could really make homemade mozzarella the way that we make it here,
Mhm.
just because he learned that from an old guy back home in Italy when he was like 10 years old, and it just got passed down when he came to America, and we've been making it that way ever since. And people come from all over, upstate, Huntington, Ronkonkoma, and they come in and they say, "Oh, I've heard about your homemade mozzarella," and so that's probably our biggest staple
Mhm.
here.
Dude, there's nothing better than a little mozz with a with tomato and some balsamic on there.
Yep, yep,
There's nothing better than that.
yep. We do actually platters for like parties, like we could
Right?
cater parties, and we do cheese platters, like the cold cut platters, 3 6 foot long heroes, so we do a lot of it. And my favorite thing is the tomato with the balsamic and the mozzarella on it. That's
Mm-hmm.
hands down just, easiest, eat it quick. It's the best one.
Dude, it's delicious. That's the best, like, I want to snack on something food you'll ever find.
Right. Yeah, right.
So, what would you say would be, I guess, not your success story, but the reason you guys have been around so long? Because businesses come and go all the time, but
Right.
to not just survive during COVID, because that shut down a lot of places, but you were established by then. But
Right.
what allowed you guys to stand the test of time?
So I strongly believe that a lot of people come to us because it's more of like a homey, like mom and pop shop in a sense. It's very like it's family run, family owned, so it's not a big corporation, where like there's a bunch of different stuff going on, and it's a big store. It's not like that. We have a very, home, like homey feel, and everything that you get in here is imported from Italy,
Hmm.
and it's all made in Italy. And you find that at other places, but not as much of a like a Italian feel as some would say, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. Having those imports is really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is this your end all? Or what else do you want to do
Well,
as Marcello the entrepreneur, as the man behind the business?
well, it's hard to say because, it's not like it's just mine.
Hmm.
It's my grandparents, but and in the end it's gonna be handed down to me and my cousins. But my vision for this place would for it to be a chain of, delis around the state, the country, like with the same homey Italian feel.
Hmm.
So that would probably be my end goal while still trying to keep it, somewhat family run.
Yeah, of course. You'll end up having one of your brothers, one of your cousins running every quarter of the United States.
You're right. Right.
You're like,
I have a
technically, it's
lot
still
of
family
cousins.
run.
Right. Right. But yeah, that would be ideal. That would be
Hmm.
ideal.
It makes a lot of sense, and it's nice to see organic growth in that way.
Right. 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 Always. Always. It would just like, it wouldn't like sit right with me for me to not, for me to know that I didn't try my best to keep this place going when my grandparents came here with nothing and they started a very successful business from nothing, and
Hmm.
they made it into something for their kids and for their grandkids.
Yeah.
It would, so I feel like I have to, just try at least to
So,
make it something.
when you consider yourself to be an entrepreneur, or would you consider yourself more somebody who, I don't want to say was put into the situation, but somebody who found themselves in this situation rather, where they're able to continue a tradition?
So, when I was younger, actually, I wanted no part of it. I was here every day. I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the deli. I don't want to go. It's boring. And I felt like I was just forced into it, no like questions, nothing. But now that I got older, I realized like I'm very grateful and fortunate that I'm able to be in this position that I am in, because not too many people have this opportunity that I'm given. And I thank my parents, my grandparents, that they kept this going for so long. And it could, hopefully set me and my cousins up for the future.
Yeah, starting up a business nowadays is not a certainly not an easy task,
Yeah,
and
no,
sometimes it's harder to keep one going than to start something fresh. Because when you
right,
keep one going, there's an expectation. You have a customer base, there's an expectation of things to be done a certain way. And for you to make one change to modernize, if you will, that can always backfire dramatically.
right, right.
Have you had any incidences where you tried to call it flare things up a little bit and it didn't take?
I wouldn't say so because my grandparents are really, they're set in their ways, they're stuck in their ways.
Hmm.
The way that they want it is the way that it has to be, and that's, that's that. But the way that they have it, um, it's very successful. And eventually we would have to go, a more innovative and modern route. But
Sure.
until that day, we're gonna try and keep it going the way that it is right, going right now because we're going at a pretty smooth pace.
Okay. So I know you from the gym, and I've
Right.
known you in passing for years until we finally officially introduced each other pretty
Yeah.
recently,
Right.
right? So how would you contribute your lifestyle as a bodybuilder into the lifestyle of what you're living now? Because fact of the matter is, I know you're not a competitive bodybuilder. I'm going to preface with
Right.
that.
Right.
But you're in the gym to try to make yourself a better, healthier person and change your body around. So you
Right.
are a bodybuilder. You don't plan to compete, but you are there to work on your body and build it up.
Right. Correct.
So how would the skills
Um,
you've learned in bodybuilding affect all this?
what I've learned from going to the gym is I started in the gym when I was in ninth grade, 10th grade, I think, which was now 6 years ago.
Yes.
Um,
Flies.
I was I was my heaviest point I ever was at in my life. I was 295 pounds,
Hmm.
and it was something that I just dealt with every day, constantly feeling like people were looking at me, and just like feeling like I wasn't good enough for certain people or that I didn't fit in because I was overweight.
Hmm.
So I made a change and, I went to the gym, I work out every day. It's a lifestyle and you need to be determined and motivated to be able to get in that lifestyle. And I feel like it brings it to my family business because in order to run this business successfully, you need to be here 7 days in, 7 days out,
Hmm.
from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. And you have, this line of work is your life. It's like your child in a sense.
Hmm.
So it requires a lot of determination, especially on the days when you don't want to wake up, on the days when you just want to say, I don't give a crap. Like I don't give a crap, and I just want to be done with it. But you just got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep going because it's what you got. This is what you got to do. It's your life.
Hmm.
Like you know what I mean. You got to better your life. So
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were a kid, you weren't really fond of it, obviously, because you were
right,
forced to do it.
right.
When did that shift? Because you're passionate about it now. So there was a turning point at some point when you're in your life where you realize, you know what, this is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm happy about it. I want to keep this tradition going, and forced to do something became gratitude.
I would say probably when I was about in 11th grade, I would say is when I actually started. Even the end of 10th grade is when I started coming here every day after school, putting in the work on the weekends. Um, and essentially when I graduated high school is my my uncle, my dad's brother is a carpenter, and it's hard work. It's labor. It's hard on your mind, your hands, and your body. It's hard work, and like and I kind of looked and I said like, why would I why would I give up this kind of plush
Mm-hmm.
business that I have to not break my back over and get my hands dirty?
Hmm.
We like when yes, there are times when you're working constantly on your feet all day, nonstop, especially during Christmas. The day before Christmas Eve, we're here until almost 5 o'clock in the morning doing orders for Christmas Eve,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's you're here from 6:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock the next morning. So it's a lot of work, but at the same time, I'm not out in the cold, I'm not
Hmm.
out in the hot, in the heat, I'm comfortable.
Hmm.
And my other uncle, my uncle that is involved with the deli, also owns a pizzeria in Garden City on Nassau Boulevard called Rustiga, and he used to work for JFK Airport, and I
Hmm.
think he still does work there, but now he owns a pizzeria, and he told me like you have a good family business in your life, like take advantage of it because like I went to get another job and it's hard work.
Hmm.
It's labor that people don't realize it until they're actually in it. So
Absolutely.
that's when it really dawned on me because I said, do I really want to be breaking my back for the rest of my life? Like, and I give props to people that do because it's not, they're building our country, and
Hmm.
it's it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, you were fortunate enough to have that option.
Right. I'm very grateful and fortunate that I was given that option to say, I don't want to do that, or maybe I want to try this out and go back to. So I've been, back and forth, but like, now I've realized over time what I have and how grateful I should really be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did your grandparents ever give you any of the stories about the difficulty of starting this out of nothing?
Yeah. So my grandfather and so we call them nono and nonna.
Yeah.
Grandfather's nono and grandmother's nonna.
Hmm.
So my nono came here on boat. He came here with a tie, a shirt, pants, socks, and underwear in his luggage. One pair of everything. That's all he came here with. And that's all he knew back home was deli work and working in the fields, with his hands and everything. But he knew that he wanted to make a better life for his kids,
Hmm.
so they didn't have to go through that. And it was hard. It was hard work, but they did it. Everyone knows, like there was a strong, presence of, like like mobs, right? Back then, especially in like an Italian
Hmm.
upbrought neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, there have been times where they tried to get pushed out, like they tried to push them out because they were the new people, they were the immigrants,
Hmm.
but yes, times got tough, times got scary, but, they, they were set on what they came here to do and they did it. And that's why we're here now.
Hmm. What did that push out try to look like?
The push out consisted of like getting paid out, like getting bought, um, threats. It was a very strong presence in this neighborhood, and you know that's how times were back then. But
Hmm.
it was just it was just something hard that they had to do,
Hmm.
and I give them great gratitude that they were able to endure that type of pain and fear for their lives in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, was it always called Guido's?
Always.
Yeah.
Guido's Deli. Guido's American Italian gourmet delicacy because that's my grandfather's name is Guido. So it was just,
Oh, okay. That's actually his last
Guido's
name.
Deli. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, his first name is Guido and his last name is Vividi, but so it's
Mm.
Guido's Deli.
All
And
right.
so that's what it was, but
Now, was that, I guess when they came over here, that was probably just the official slur for the Italians was Guidos, and
yeah.
they
Yeah,
just ran with it, I guess.
the official slur was wops,
Mm.
guineas, guidos, and like that's my grandfather's name, so he couldn't really do anything
That's
about
tough.
it.
That's that's a tough card.
Yeah, yeah, but it's he made out in the end, but better than some people did that they knew back then. So,
Absolutely. Hmm.
it was good. It was good, and I thanked them. So,
Yeah, of course. Now, if you were in their shoes back then when you were opening things up, do you think you could have been able to hack it?
I laughed because I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Me and my cousins have actually like thought about it like as a group, and we kind of sat back and said like they were basically getting threatened with their lives, like threatened to leave their life here and go back to where they came from, or just shut down the business, and now they
Yeah.
can't support their three kids, and it it would be a very hard and scary choice,
Mhm.
because especially back then there was, um, it wasn't as easy to call the cops as it is now.
Of course.
Like everyone, who knew this one and who knew him, and it was just very hard, and they went through a lot to get to where we are now. And like I said, I just can't even express the amount of thanks that I have for them, because I could go on and on all day. I'm so grateful for them, and my grandfather and my grandmother, like my best friends.
Hmm.
I'm here every day, and to hear that they went through that stuff to give us a better life, it's very heartwarming.
Yeah, absolutely. Are they still there, like actively?
Yeah, we try and tell them to go home,
Hmm.
take a day off,
Yeah.
go home early. No, no, we're open 364 days a year,
Hmm.
except for Christmas Day, which is
That's
the
fair.
one day that we have off.
Yeah, that's
Which,
fair.
we're saying it now to close this, that, but when they started it, they had to be open 365 days a year, every single day,
Mhm.
all morning, day, night, all day.
Yeah.
So it was hard. When they first opened, their hours were 7 to like 10 or 11 at night,
Hmm.
and then all over again the same, the next day, while
Yeah.
they had three kids at home. So, it was hard. And then as my aunt, my uncle, and my mom got older, then they started to help out. But, it took some time for them to learn how to, help.
Yeah. It's a really difficult transitional period.
Right. Right.
So,
So
would you say you do all your meal prep there?
I do most of it here. Yeah.
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 There anything
It's
is slipping in your meals that
it's
isn't
really
on the menu for us?
it's really hard. It's really,
Yeah.
really, really hard. I want to eat a loaf of bread a day. I want to eat a bag of pasta. Like, I just want to eat it. But it, here and there, I'll have a sandwich, like a small sandwich, and that'll be like my meal for the day, like my big meal.
Hmm.
But like on the day to day, I just have to stay, I just have to stay strong and know like I'm doing this to fix myself and to make me confident and happy within myself.
Sure.
So that's why I got to just do it. It's very tempting, but it's nothing that I haven't tried before.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
fair.
know what it all tastes like.
Yeah.
So, it gets rough. It does,
Hmm.
being around it all day. But
You cut out there for a second. What was that?
oh, can can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it looked like your Wi-Fi went out for a little bit. It kind of shows me what's going
Yes.
on.
Okay. But it gets hard. It does,
Mhm.
but I gotta keep pushing forward, and that's it.
That's all I can do, man.
That's all. Yep, it's all I can do. So,
Anything on the menu inspired by Marcello?
um, there's there's a sandwich, but it's not like on the menu. But we call it the Marcello because that's my name is Marcello. I didn't want to correct you earlier, so I'm sorry.
I wish you did.
No,
I'm the
no,
worst at that.
it's okay.
You know Aton from the gym?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I have been
He's my
calling him
boy.
Ethan for 5 years. And he knows it too. He
Really?
knows it too. Yeah, and he's corrected me a million times. But he's been Ethan to me forever.
He's
And then
the
he
yeah.
was and then he was Eton, not Aton, Eton.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He has a very unique name too. I didn't
Yeah,
know how to say his name at first until he told me to, and
son of a
you
bitch.
know, and I'm just like, dude, how the fuck do you say your name?
Yeah.
But
He was saved in
it's
my phone as Ethan too, so I just thought I was right the whole time.
I just spelled his name in my phone, and I forgot how to pronounce it, so I had to ask
Mm,
him again. I felt bad, but
that's all right. It's always better to ask.
right, right.
My
I
different was I
saw
thought I was right the whole time.
really.
I just thought it was Ethan.
Ethan. I mean it's spelled yeah. Yeah, Ethan, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
I
can see that.
misspelled it in my phone. I just saw how it was written. I'm like, oh, Ethan. I didn't even look at it again. I just like, oh, his name's Ethan. Great. I
Oh
just put it
yeah,
in.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right, right,
blatantly my fault.
right. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything happens, it's
Yeah, who
fine.
cares? But back to the Marcello sandwich. A wrap, or what do you got for us?
On a semolina bread hero,
All right. Paint me a word
you have
picture.
you have prosciutto imported, hot supersada, which is like Italian salami,
Mm-hmm.
hot, um, fresh fresh mozzarella,
Mm-hmm.
oil and vinegar, lettuce, a little. Sometimes I'm feeling some red cherry peppers, hot, or some black pepper, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
choose and I'll put it on, wrap it up, cut it, and that's my lunch.
All right.
That's
All right.
that's my lunch.
Nothing wrong with that. That sounds great.
Yeah,
Sounds like I want one.
yeah. You should come by. But
We gotta add a I got a new one for you. All right.
yeah,
Got the burn. Do you guys have a panini press?
we did. Right now we don't, but we're getting a new one.
All right. So when you get the new one, you can make the sandwich. So it's gonna be the Burn the Ships panini, right? We got
Okay,
mozzarella, we got tomato, we got bacon,
okay,
balsamic, and
okay.
then we're gonna put some of the pepper crusted salami
Oh,
in there. Just lay it on out.
yeah, yeah. That sounds really good.
Press it down, make it hot, and that's all we need.
That sounds really good. That does sound really, really good. I may have to go try that.
You let me you let me know, but you better bring me one.
I'll
If you're
bring you
trying
one.
it, listen, if you're trying it one day and you're coming to the gym straight
I'll
from
bring you a
work,
half.
you bring me half, make it on a wrap, make it whatever you want. I don't care. But I'm expecting half of that. All right?
Okay, okay, okay. But
What else, man? What are you thinking?
nothing. I'm just it's honestly an honor to be talking on this podcast,
I appreciate
Like
that.
I've seen you in the gym, you're a big ass dude. Like, I want to look like you one day, um I've been going to Bev's for 2.5 years, I think now. 3 maybe.
Okay.
And it's just yeah, again, I'm gonna sound biased, but
Sure.
Bev's is just like it just makes me feel so confident and it's just a great environment, and everyone knows each other. And like, I know you, I know Evie Gaines. My two boys go there, Jack and Joe. Um, and I know a few other guys and girls there, but like it's just a nice environment. Everyone's friendly,
Yeah.
and I couldn't ask for anything better. Steve blesses up. I can't even talk. Blesses us up with
Hmm.
all great equipment,
Yeah.
top of the line, every machine you could possibly think of for chest, back, biceps, triceps, legs. It's very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I get to go there, that I have the ability to, go there.
Absolutely. It's really the place of no judgments. Where if you're
Right,
there working hard, doing whatever you're training, there's no judgments. It is nothing but a supportive, positive environment. People want to see you
right,
succeed. You
right.
know, when you go to like a Planet Fitness or something, oh,
I
no
can't stand
judgments. Because
those.
you're being judged harder than anybody there.
I can't stand those gyms. I
But
can't
one of the
stand
most
Planet
important
Fitness.
things is you never want to be a big fish in a little pond. If you walked into any other gym, you be the biggest guy in there, without a doubt. No problem. But when you're going somewhere where you're no longer the biggest guy, it makes you want to work harder. It makes you want to train harder.
Right,
You know?
and Bev's is genuinely where like legends are made.
Yeah.
Jake Cutler was just there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, for the NPC
Um
event.
D-Bum was there a
Hmm.
few months ago. Sadiq trains there every day.
Yeah. Derek Lunsford was
Um
there recently.
yeah, it's just
Samson was just
real.
there the other day.
Right,
There's always somebody
right.
walking through those doors.
There's always like a legend that
Hmm.
is always there. And if you walk in Bev, the first thing that you're gonna see is all of these big time pro bodybuilders with pictures. Their pictures are everywhere. Signs saying thank you, Steve. All of
Yeah.
them.
It's a beautiful thing. And you know what's crazy
It's
is
great.
you came into Bev's when it was a very different place. I've been to Bev's a very long time, and pre-COVID, but even before, right before COVID, it was a different place because you had a lot more really heavy-duty competitors there all the time.
Right, right,
You had George the Bull, rest in peace, George. He was the best. You had Juan when he was competing. You had Max when he was competing.
right,
Sadiq when he was competing more seriously. Where
right,
I believe
right.
he's competing again, but he took some time off. But
Yeah.
regardless, he's still walking around like a fucking animal.
He mogs everybody in
Oh
the
my
gym
God,
still.
you had Julia there.
Right.
She was Miss Olympia in physique.
Yeah.
There was always the place was always packed with top end competitors. Kai Green was there all the time.
Right.
Victor Martinez walked in once in a while. It was always full of
Oh,
people where,
yeah.
you're seeing a new generation of bodybuilders being the bodybuilders of that
Right.
gym. And there's
Right.
not, I had somebody say to somebody else actually, and then he told me that, I was one of those few people, but it's one of the last serious bodybuilders in that gym. It means a lot, of course, but there's not a lot of us.
Right. Um, the other guy that I loved, oh my God, I just talked to him. How did I forget his name? Oh my gosh.
Describe them.
Alcantara, the
Oh, Danny Olds.
trainer.
Danny
Yeah,
Olds.
Danny.
Yeah,
Oh
Danny.
my God. I don't know
Danny
why I
Olds.
forgot his name.
He's he's one of
I
the
love
few.
Danny.
Danny's the man. He is one of the few old school competitors left on this
I
planet.
I love Danny. He's
Yeah.
such a nice guy.
Hmm.
He's genuine. I don't know how I just forgot his name because I just said hi to him too. I just was like, but he like he makes you feel welcome. Like he's
Yeah.
by far one of the biggest guys in that gym, and he's still talking to somebody like me, saying, "Wow, man, like you look good. Like gotta keep going.
Yeah.
it means a lot coming from somebody of his stature."
Absolutely. Danny's the man. There is not a bad thing as far as I know. Certainly, I couldn't say
Nope.
about him.
Yeah,
Always happy to
same
help
same
out. Always a
here.
smile on his face. Going
Always,
through an injury, training through hell. Always happy to see you
always,
no matter what.
always. always. But
And that's
you
what
know
Bev's is
that's
truly about.
it
Where
is.
when you would see people like Danny, me, or some other of the big guys, you'd be like, "Oh my God, let me." First of all, they're looking at us because it's like a circus for them if you walk around a
Right,
mall. But they're also like, "Oh, that guy, I probably don't want to talk to that guy." Meanwhile, you're some of the
right.
nicest people you ever meet. We're
Mm-hmm.
happy all day. We're pretty full, and we don't really want to talk because our bellies hurt. But besides that, we're pretty nice guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that like when I first went there, it was definitely intimidating. Like,
Sure.
oh wow, like look at me and look at these big guys. Like, I feel out of place, blah blah blah. But as I've grown up and as I've been going there while I've grown up, you just see it more like these people like they're like you. You're one of the nice guys that I've met in the gym.
I
Danny,
appreciate that.
one of the nicest guys I've met in the gym. EB Gaines, one of the nice guys met in the gym. Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of nice people that I used to go to UFC gym in New Hyde Park
Mhm.
before I went to Bev's. That was where I first started training. And it was horrible. The vibe, was just wasn't there. It was a commercial gym, everyone was who saw me benching 225, so they had a bench 315, they like who had a bench the 110 dumbbells because I was doing the 80. Like it was just, always like a competition.
The dick measuring competition.
Yeah,
That whole place.
it literally what it is
Yeah.
because there's girls around and these guys want to, I'm I'm better looking than you, and they'll take their shirts off and it's just a bad environment. Like you don't want to be
Yeah.
around cockiness all day. Like
It's knockoff Jersey Shore.
yeah, Steve just put new
I saw that. That's great. Marcello, some technical difficulties, folks. His Wi-Fi crapped out, I guess. All right. Um, so Marcello was walking around his deli the whole time we were doing the podcast, and his Wi-Fi was going in and out a little bit the entire time. It looks like it finally ended. So unfortunately, he lost connection, but that's all right. So once again, if you want to find out where Guido's Deli is, I don't want to missay where it is. Just check earlier in the video. You can give him a follow on Instagram. And besides that, guys, hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.